I'm Lisa Hagerman. I will be doing feedback on the presentation from Emily Lewis. So Emily, I just wanted to start off by saying I really enjoyed your presentation on telehealth and during the COVID-19 crisis, but also incorporating the school setting. So I thought your presentation was very clear, it was very easy to follow, and you had a lot of really good information in it. One of the things I really liked was that you gave an example from the occupational demands of the space and the social. You gave the example of using plexiglass, like in between the students for during the COVID-19 crisis, which I thought was a really good example to use because I know I've already seen a lot of places implement the use of plexiglass as dividers to kind of keep up with social distancing. So I thought that was a good point to mention. I also really liked what you said for conflict management. You said to train staff on regulation, on mindfulness, on social emotional learning, as well as like sensory environment. I think it's really good that you train your staff for several reasons. One, so they already know how to handle a situation when it arises, but also so if maybe they see something starting, they can kind of mitigate it where it doesn't happen, or maybe it doesn't, kind of become full blown if they already are aware. So I thought that was a really good point to mention with the conflict management and the importance of proper staff training. I will say, I liked that you mentioned therapeutic use of self. I do think that as an occupational therapist, therapeutic use of self is really important as far as like connecting with your client. The only thing I think that I would mention is that I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more detail. You talked about how there were various roles that the OT takes as far as like achieving the targeted outcomes for the client. But I think it would be nice if you elaborated a little bit on that, talked about maybe how the OT can put themselves in a role to help their clients, such as, connecting with them, maybe showing concern, showing that they care, kind of taking on that like empathetic role. Maybe even to kind of talk about the IRM, the intentional relationship model, and how that works as far as engaging the client to do their occupations. That would be helpful as well. But I do like that you mentioned therapeutic use of self because, like I said, I do think that that is important. Something I learned was your teaching principles. I really liked how you broke them all down and how you applied them to your topic, which was the school setting. You talked about like teaching principles of like hand washing and sanitizing and removing clutter from the room, which again is important, especially now with the pandemic going on. So it's important to remember keeping the environment clear. So it's good to instruct personnel on how to do that. And I also really like that you mentioned the PEO model. So it's a good way to remember how to interact with the person, the activity, and the environment. So it was a really good presentation, and thank you.